This is something that has been on the forefront of my mind for the collective, and I thought what better space than to bring it to this channel here that we're just beginning, but it is an extension of my TikTok. So there's this presence in the collective field right now that is really, really challenging us. And I trust that this will find whomever it needs to find at whatever time, because time is not linear. It's not. So this energy is just present whenever you're coming across it. And it has to do with our mind, the power of our mind. And even sitting down and just the way Spirit navigated me today to sitting here with y'all to actually share this message was that sort of dance that can happen with, should I be doing this? Am I following the right steps of where I'm supposed to be going, how I'm supposed to be navigating life? And it really feels like there is a mental narrative that is so present right now. And it is because of the fact that I really see that we are at a tipping point right now. And even just sharing this and being vulnerable and coming on here and sharing the truth of what is being revealed is a little daunting. And it feels like that. It feels like that on an individual level for everybody who is receiving this. Because as within, so without. We can see this on a collective scale and we see it on a personal scale. And it really is this sort of threshold energy that's present right now. You have like 1 foot in your past life and 1 foot in the life that you've been desiring. And it really is this deepening and this realization of back and forth thoughts. It's like I really see you being pulled both directions because the past is comfortable. This previous version of you, this life that you've lived up until this moment is so deeply, deeply familiar to you. And I feel like a lot of truths are about to be revealed in the duration of this video. And I just got hit with like an overwhelm in a good way. And a like finally. And it kind of is this you giving yourself this permission slip to actually fully step in to the new life. Because it really is a switch of your mind. Because once you actually realize it, you realize that you are embodying this person that you've desired to be for so long. For some of you, it feels as though the external circumstances are not where you want them to be yet, but you know that it's going to change. It will change, and it's sort of this like dance that I see that you're playing with Spirit, because you really are heeding the call of your heart, of your desires, of the desired life you wish to live and how you wish to show up. And I just saw a funeral in my mind's eye. This right now is the grief process of you letting go of your past self. And it needs to have a proper, I was going to say, like grief, but like funeral seems heavy. It's a celebration of life, of all the achievements you've gone through to be the person you are now. There's this sort of this like culmination of energy of like actually deeply celebrating where you've been, the trials you've been through, the hardships you've overcome, and gratitude for that part of yourself for having you make it through that. And then permission. It's like this, it feels like there's this dance of guilt and shame and guilt and shame is a man-made emotion. The reason we feel guilt and shame is because there's this external narrative that is telling us that we're supposed to be a certain way, that we're supposed to be living life a specific way. So if you're not following a specific doctrine, then you should feel shameful. Then you should feel guilt. It's from external perception that we feel these things. You're not living in alignment with whatever it is. And so I feel that there is this level of a guilt or shame narrative that you're actively moving through. I heard mother wounds for some of y'all of like, and it's interesting, my palms are just resting on my like table here, and it really feels like this is the energy that you are moving into, of just being deeply receptive of what God and spirit has to offer you. But there is this like, oh, interesting. I literally felt like somebody like grabbed my hair and pulled me back. It's like there's parts of you, and for some of you it feels down the maternal lineage is a space to navigate and explore, because on another level we are our ancestry expressing itself. We are DNA that's been passed on. And so, you know, whatever narrative you subscribe to, whether you believe in past lives, whether you believe in reincarnation, whatever it is, I'm not here to tell you how to believe. That's your journey. DNA is a version of past lives. Our ancestors, we feel that on a DNA level. So whatever, something I always like to think about is like when your mother was in her mother's womb, you were also being created. So whatever your grandmother was going through, you by proxy were also going through that as well. And that energetic code was passed on. And it really feels like there's a transmutation happening here. A couple messages that I got on my TikTok, and it feels like this message here is like a conglomeration. Like I feel like I never had enough time to really dive into what is occurring on a deeper level. And so I'm taking the jump and the leap here to share this, and for the people that are supposed to hear this. And, you know, I see this, if you've ever seen Sailor Moon, you know, they go through their little transformational process. And in your past, transformation has been like really crunchy and really scary. And this movement forward of you choosing this new life, it's like this transformation process that like Sailor Moon goes through. And it's actually really beautiful. And it's like the first time like, oh, this doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be like painful. And I think that's what that pulling energy back was like, no, you're supposed to experience this pain with this process of letting go. But there's like this healthy level of detachment that you've created where you're not subscribing yourself to other people's emotional responses to you choosing the life that you want to live. With that thread, I want to go down into a deeper node of people pleasing, because I find that a lot of the people that I attract are recovering people pleasers. And I remember the moment that I was on a dating app and a man called me a manipulator because I really I said that like, yeah, I'm a people pleaser. And he's like, that means you manipulate. And at that moment, this was over like, I don't know, like 9 years ago, 8 years ago, long time ago. I remember this like feeling of like, no, you're wrong. You're what? I'm doing things for everybody. How can that be manipulation? And if you get that same feeling, that tension, that like, how could she say that about me? You know, like I'm doing things for others. And the truth is like, you're adapting yourself to be likable by others and betraying yourself in the process. And so then you project a false illusion and a whole different person than who you truly are. And I feel like that was just for a select few of you guys. And for the rest of you, it feels like you've moved through that and you're in this space where you have been in the discovery process. You've been moving through this deeper invitation to know yourself. And for very specific groups of you, and I'm like sinking in, like the energy is really potent right now, whoever I'm talking to. You have seen, like you work hand in hand with your higher self, with source, with spirit, with God. And you have seen this version of you. And I'm hearing this version of you by Odessa. Like this version of you simply becomes real. And I'd like you to imagine that version of you. Imagine yourself as you truly are. And it really feels like, whoa, and I'm getting emotional because it's like you really are recognizing that you already are inherently this person that you've been like chasing your whole life. That he, she, they have always been under the surface. Always has been present. And as I'm like looking at myself right now, like I see that in myself as well. And it feels really potent within this collective and powerful. For a lot of you, you've had this specific version, the specific vision of yourself. And I'm here to tell you, you're there. But that's where, to circle back to the beginning of this message, your mind. You've been continuing, it's as though like if this side were to be the past and this side was to be the future, it's like you've just had your head turned this way. You're like, nope, even though it's right there. It's right there. You're like, nope, I'm just going to keep. Your mind has been just ruminating on past patterns and things like that. And all you need to do is just shift your head a different direction to see, oh, wait, I've actively been doing this because there was like this small compass, a small light that's continued to draw you forward, that has continued to call you forth and has continued to bring you towards what it is you truly desire and this life and this person. And we'll sip. It's almost like you're finally giving yourself permission to recognize that. Again, there is that grief process of like letting go of this past part. But it's like you're so far from that, and not in a way that's like belittling or anything. It's just like, I don't do things like that anymore. I don't operate that way anymore. There may be a big desire to like delete past photos, delete, like remove things, because you're like, I don't even know who that is anymore because I've changed and I've evolved so much. So have that celebration of life for that past self. For some of you, like even sit and journal and be like, thank you for moving through this. Thank you for navigating this. Thank you for listening to your heart at this moment. Thank you for, and all these little steps, because it's making you realize that you have always been following this path forward. You've been always following that inner desire. And now, as you're settling into this new phase, this new version of you, it really does, like, there still is that, like, oh, I just got filled with, like, wonder and curiosity. Like, there's so much available to you. And it really is just shifting your mind. And I see this collective in this space of, well, anything's possible then. They're having me circle back to that mother wound. There's a big need for you to look at your connection with your mother. For some of you, taking a peek at your moon sign is a really good opportunity to understand your relationship with your mother. And mother is an archetype. Whomever the feminine entity was that raised you, right? And something that's unique for me is like my father is more masculine or more feminine and my mother is more masculine. So certain narratives shift a little bit in my own experience. So I'm just offering that. That might be the same for you. If you're not familiar with your natal chart, it's time. By the way, I'm an evolutionary astrologer. That's my deepest passion. And I love to guide people into themselves through looking at their soul's blueprint, which is your natal chart. So on that node of the mother, of the moon, and it's interesting, I'm wearing these like Luna moth earrings. So I was wondering why. I was like, I normally don't wear these guys, but and I'm hearing Lumos from Harry Potter, so that might be specific for some of y'all. There's this need for you to look at how I heard co-regulation is important right now, like finding people that calm yourself. I feel like that is the bigger step forward now because you've done a lot of solo work lately. And now it's time to let people in. but it's new people. Because and that's why, like, the mother is the portal. That's what I heard. The mother's the portal. So, oh, wow. Look at your moon sign. So they're wanting me to talk more about the moon. So the moon within astrology is your unconscious reactive habit patterns. It's how we, for example, when you drive to work or to school, somehow you get there and you're like, how did I get here? I was just completely on autopilot. And that's your moon. That's your natural operating system when you're not consciously expressing your sun sign, your rising sign, etc. Your moon is just where you're just operating when you're comfortable. And that's where it's like, there's a lot. Okay, this message is unfolding in such a beautiful way, and I'm so deeply grateful for, like, the opportunity to read this for you. So let me know how this is landing, and tell me, what is your moon sign down below. I have a post on my Instagram about moon signs, so maybe check that out after, but I'll link it actually for you guys in the description. So when we are operating in our moon, it is when we feel the most safe and we just are on our autopilot. It's when we're at home, when nobody else is around, or our close loved ones. And that's kind of the invitation here, is you're in this next phase. There's something they want me to share about the mom, and now my throat's like closing up. So there might be something that needs to be said to the mother, to your mother, there's like this, I heard cutting the umbilical cord, like there's like, and not cord cutting, but it's like this sort of expectation for a lot of you. Maybe you have been living your life under this guise and like programming that you're supposed to navigate it a specific way because your mother did it a specific way. And I'm hearing survival, like, for some of you, your mother had to like really like move through a lot of survival, and they've projected that like you also need to navigate life from like a fear survival mindset. And that's what you've been really growing out of, is like, wait, no, I'm deeply secure in myself, and that I know that God, burp confirmation, God and spirit have me. I have me and they have me. And that's something that is gonna blow some people's minds, is this sort of deep, deep trust. And a lot of you guys are challenging a lot of systematic structures that are in place within our society in the way that you're choosing to navigate things. It's like, again, I had my palms resting out on my table, and it just really feels like you're just like, and I'm here to receive, and I'm here to receive, I'm here to receive. And this isn't saying that you're bypassing anything. It really, you are not. You have done so much fucking work. You have. So a little pat on the back. Again, make that list and thank yourself for all this growth that you've navigated. As you uncover these unconscious reactive habit patterns, that's the thing I feel like you've been growing out of the most, is like reacting ways maybe to situations or things that maybe you used to respond to your mother in certain ways, where maybe you would lash out or implode or shut down. It's like you no longer are like operating like you're being attacked by a maternal figure, is what I feel like. And this is like the gateway. The mother is the portal. The moon is the portal. And as you expand these unconscious patterns and shift them into conscious patterns and conscious ways of being in your comfortability, in your autopilot, and like softening the edges, you're inviting in community. You're inviting in partnership that's about to up-level you into new experiences, into new ways of being. It's recognizing like, oh wait, you mean friendships aren't supposed to be hard? You mean I can be like loved and supported by my community? That I can have a partner who just wants the best for me? And it really is this opening. And I'm seeing this one card in my mind's eye from my alchemy deck. It's the anonymity card. I think I pulled it a couple days ago on TikTok. And it really gives me this lone wolf energy. Like most of your life, it feels like you've kept yourself separated to a certain degree from people. But now it's time for you to allow in connection. And I just got like heat, like right on my crown. Connection from spirit. And I'm noticing my Espeon card. And this is Espeon is a psychic Pokemon. So psychic abilities opening up a little bit more. Again, with the heat on my crown, I really feel like you're allowing things to permeate into your crown and down the rest of your chakras and allowing it to expand you. And it's through these connections, and it's through allowing in other people's perceptions of you. I feel like that's going to be deeply rewarding of like I just heard you don't actually see the way the world sees you. You don't see yourself the way God sees you, how Mother Earth sees you. You are powerful. You've been so used to the perceptions of people from your past or people who have known a past version of you. And again, there's a funeral happening for that past self. Let yourself be seen in a new light. Let yourself be observed and take in the love, take in the adoration, take in the support because you are so deserving. I heard like water sounds, and there's been these messages of like the psychic waters, the undercurrents. I'm thinking of waterbenders too now. And I know we just had some like tsunami warnings, and that felt really significant. Like there's like shifting happening in the like underworld. And I have to preface that the underworld is not what these other narratives say it is. If you look into shamanism, the underworld is just our subconscious mind. It's the shadow realm in the way that parts of us are, but it's a subconscious subterranean space that is deeply potent. And it feels like there's a lot of invitation under there. I'm hearing like a heartbeat in water. And that's telling me like there's this restoration period. I see you sinking your feet into the mud, like into dirt, and allowing almost like how a tree roots in. You're rooting into a new identity, and I see you allowing the undercurrents of the water, the undercurrents of these subterranean, like mystical waters permeate your roots and allow it to rejuvenate you, to reconnect you and refresh you. And a lot of if you haven't watched the OA, it's time to. There's a specific scene I'm thinking of, and I'll share it without any spoilers, but it talks about the deeper connections of trees and how all the root systems are connected and talking to each other. And I feel like you're finally plugging yourself into a community and connection that is going to reward you, is to refresh you. Wow. I heard grief portal. Again, there's this need for you to say bye to this part of yourself. I feel like this full moon in Aquarius that's coming up, keep your eye out on my other YouTube channel where I post astrology content. I'll be talking more about that. I think I might even film that today, just how I'm feeling. We'll see. There's this need for you to let that part fully go. I'm almost seeing like an energetic funeral or like, but there's this need to celebrate it and to honor it, right? So however that looks for you, but it seems significant for you to like have, and my background, I've done a lot of things in life. I have a background in education, and when I'm working with kids, and we're all just kids in big bodies, like having very like significant visuals to mark the end of things and to bring in the new things. Like, that's really important for our brains to process things, because you can be like, oh yeah, that life's over, but I feel like it's going to be really powerful for you to actually like write something out, to buy flowers for this person, like even like dig a hole outside and like bury this note, or whatever it is. Like, maybe finding some items from like, oh, I just realized something that I need to let go of. So, but there might be very specific items for some of you guys that you need to like put to rest. And it feels like you might have been putting this off. So specific things, specific items that need to be like donated or let go or clear out the photos. But it needs to be ritualistic is what it feels like have an importance and like a closing of a book. So even maybe like finishing out a journal. And it might not all be all the way finished, but like the significance of like starting a new one. And like, yeah, and in that process of letting go, starting something new. Of like, and sitting with yourself of like, and this is what the next thing's gonna look like. And like, and it's not even like what it looks like, it's what it feels like. I'm really leaning into that. So, wow. I feel really, really excited for you guys. Like, there's like, yeah, it's good. It's about to be really, really good for you guys. If you're feeling called to work with me deeper, all of my stuff's going to be linked down below. Natal chart readings, one-on-one coaching, divine channeled messages. All of it's there, and I would love it if you subscribe to my newsletter, Letters from the 8th House. It's where I channel the upcoming transits straight to your inbox every Monday. It guides you through the week ahead using astrology, and totally free. And it's just a little love note every week, so you guys can be prepared and know how to navigate those sort of energies that are coming up. And I share the live stream recap on my other YouTube channel, which is linked down below, Astraemia. So if you're more of an auditory person and like to listen, put that on in the background, or join me live every Sunday at 4 p.m. PST on Twitch. And I tried to stream it on TikTok. It's just not working. Yeah, it is what it is. But thank you for joining me on my first video on this account. I appreciate you guys, and there will be more from me. All right. Love you guys. Bye.